Watch when I put on the brake. You see that? I definitely have a brake problem. So again, this is a continuation of the last video, or last 3 videos. I've been working on brakes, rear end, bearings, brake lines that I had to replace, but the last video I left off where when I pushed this pedal down, it was almost to the floor. So I adjusted them all the way tight and then just backed off a few clicks. So now the pedal is way up here. Disc brakes, you never have to adjust them, so the pedal is never down unless you have a problem with the hydraulics. But in this case, you can have a low pedal if you're not adjusted. Now, look at that. Yeah, so I'm adjusting the brakes. This is Monday. This is the one that I had in the passenger front. The way you should tighten it is, if that's sitting in the car, this wheel should go up. And maybe I knew this and I forgot, but you see that this one says left on it. This one says right. They're opposite threads. That has to be the right, because if not, instead of tightening the brakes automatically, it'll loosen them. Also, if you're having trouble turning this wheel, push a screwdriver through there and push this out. See, when I let go, it's easy to tighten, but hard to loosen. So I think that's about right, because if I fill it too full, this cap will push the fluid right out. Yeah, one last thing. Like I said, I'm working through the car, the mechanical, the engine, transmission. But the reason I tore all the brakes apart and then found problems like missing springs and missing adjusters is because it was pulling hard to the right. And then what I found out is every cylinder in this car, every brake cylinder, when you push, if you know what I'm talking about, inside the drum brake, was either frozen or had a very limited travel. That was the main problem. The rear brakes were missing the adjuster parts. Started thinking about it. Why would the backs not have adjusters? It doesn't make any sense. So I took them out of the old car outside, parts, and anyway, I'm talking too much. I'm gonna take it for a drive. Gotta lower the lift. Okay, here we go. Second drive. I'm gonna put the brakes on hard. Perfect. You just have to slowly work through these old cars, man. Shift into second. Okay, I'll put the brakes on again and let my hand off the wheel. If anything, it's pulling a little to the left. So what do I say I gotta do? If it's pulling a little to the left, I gotta loosen the left. But I gotta ride these brakes, that's what I gotta do. Got my foot on the brake. I'm just gonna kind of ride it. Or periodically, I'm just gonna pump it. Let's try it now. Pull a little to the left. Before it dived, like two full steering wheels pulled to the right. I don't have, I got registration, but I don't have insurance. I don't have any tail lights. This is a back road. This guy's got his own lake. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. He's got his own lake. Okay, I'm gonna put my left foot on the brake lightly. I'm gonna speed it up. Put it on hard. Pulling barely to the left. That's the one that was, that's the brake pad that when you spun the wheel, it hit in one spot. I need to take this for a longer drive. If you register these as historic vehicles, insurance is really cheap. Just my luck. They're working on the road. Here I am driving around with no insurance. Speedometer works. Watch the steering. It's not that bad for an old car. It's moving when I'm doing that. Put the brakes on again. Pulling to the left a little bit. Brakes. Okay, it's back on the lift. I don't see any leaks. The ground was wet, so there's some rainwater, but no leaks. So let's just check the wheels. See if one of them's hotter than the other. Oh, if you can't see it, it's 66. That's nothing. I did it closer to the hub here. 66 to 73. 75, 77, 75, 80. One is doing too much. The other one is not doing enough. So I'm going to back off a couple clicks on this one and add a couple clicks to that one. Yeah, I just added 3 clicks. Remember what I was talking about earlier, going up is tightening. Before I had the wrong adjuster in there. This is not leaking right now. So I'm going to lower the car down and check all the fluids. I see no leaks. Okay, I still got to clean up some wires in here, but there's no leaks anywhere. Everything is clean. That is so nice. So rebuild transmission, remanufactured engine. I figured, again, that was the cheapest way to go. Amazon distributor electronic for like 70 bucks, came with wires. Walmart battery for like maybe $80. Amazon alternator, we got rid of the generator. That was like 70 bucks. I kept the same solenoid. That carburetor, let's see, that carburetor is, I forget. That's not the carburetor that came on it. I got that off the other engine, the 302. That was from an LTD. The choke, I can't remember where I got that. I had it laying around. Power steering, LTD. And then just bits and pieces. Radiator, I'm not sure if this is the original or not, but it's not leaking. Oh yeah, new fuel pump. To me, it's mechanically sound now. Like I was saying, I'd like to put bucket seats in here and the rear Galaxie rear seat. I just like that look. And a console, the console without the shifter in it. Oh yeah, new mufflers. I fixed the horns. When I deleted the generator, I had to change over the wires. That's inside the old regulator box. Okay, I'm draining the water out of the engine. Just gonna let it drain until it stops draining. Oh, there is one more thing I can do. I bought these a while back. Fender guards. Yeah, if you put these mud guards on, there's a short side and a long side. The long side goes down there. So far, everything's just plugged right in. Now, you see this big hole here? That's a universal. So on this side, it's this cable holder right here. So there's a bolt through here somewhere, and there's 3 here. One here, one there, and then there's some down there I can't see from up here. Anyway, that's how you do it if you're curious, because I never did it before. And then this metal piece that came with it, Like, I don't know what it's for. I think it's just a weight. So if you get them on right, both of them are gonna look like this. The metal's gonna be on the back side. Again, I think it's a weight. And somehow I got 4 bottles, but 3 of them I've been into. Oh, by the way, since I'm under the car, look at this. I just noticed a rat nest. Okay, I adjusted the brakes yesterday. I'm taking it out to see if it made any difference. I got a feeling that the driver's front drum is a little bit out of round. So I'm going to put on the brakes in a second. Get past this turn. Okay, first try. It's still pulling to the left. When I spin that, when I get the car in the lift, it drags at one point. It's got to be the drum. I'm gonna try it again. Get. I'm gonna put it on really hard. I don't know. And also, this seat that I fixed, it's not locking in right. Watch. I'm gonna put the brake on. Oh, you can't see it. I think there's a piece broken in there. Anyway, that's my. The only thing I left to do is just get new drums, but I think it just needs to be driven. So that's it. I'm looking for XL seats and rear seat. I saw this on eBay. This piece is hard to find. At least that clean. And that's the centerpiece of the back seat. I couldn't pass it up. It's heavier than I thought. It's like steel or solid aluminum. It weighs about, I don't know, 5 pounds. Anyway, I couldn't pass it up. I didn't want to spend the money, but I've been looking around. They're all junk. This one is freaking nice. Yeah, I got to hook up the temperature gauge in the Galaxie. This is the 289. The thing is, all temperature sending units are different, but this is the one that came out of the car. Maybe this still works, so that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I moved my gauges from there to here under the hood. But I'm trying to figure out how to wire them up. So this wire here is the temperature gauge wire, which I need to run over to here. But I'm getting this really weird reading. So this wire here runs to the constant voltage on the back of I don't know if I talked about this, but regulates the voltage. So if the battery's putting out 14, this will still only put out, the voltage should oscillate between 0 and 10 volts. If it does not, the constant voltage regulator is defective. So maybe that's what's going on. So maybe I just hook this up, start the car, see if the temperature gauge works. I guess another thing I could do is ground it. So the key's on. I have a ground wire. I have the temperature gauge says 0 or cold. So now I'm going to touch this. I know this is a good ground. So I'm going to put that on there. We know the gauge works. We don't know if the sending unit works. But I guess we know the wire works because the gauge went to full when we grounded it. And that's basically what this is doing. It's grounding through here. As it heats up, the ground resistance changes. It hasn't ran for 2 days. I just pushed the pedal down once. Again, it's electric choke. Just to get a squirt of gas, but it started right up on the first crank. I'll get back if this thing starts working. Okay, it's been about, I don't know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. The gauge is working. According to this, constant voltage regulator is 15, 14. Is used with the fuel gauge, the temperature gauge, and the oil pressure gauge. Maintains an average value of 5. It's nice to have some gauges under the hood. The top one is the light. That's the 12-volt source. That's a ground. And that goes to the distributor. I tried to film that, but I got the tach working, the oil pressure working, the fuel working, the temperature working, the generator light working. I think the timing is off. What I did is I left the distributor loose, and then when I was playing with the wires, I turned it. So I don't see one works at all. I'm not even close. Am I on the wrong plug wire? Yeah. On the wrong plug wire. What an idiot. Right here. What an idiot. It's hitting somewhere, I can't turn it. It's hitting right there. That stupid thing. It's on 20, it's off 10 degrees. Hey, sorry about this shitty video. I don't know if you can see that. Probably can't. Something's off. Anyway, it's running like garbage now. When you get in a rush, you gotta stop. I'm trying to get out of here. But so tomorrow I'll just recheck the timing, recheck the wires. That's the fun of it, I guess. The fun and the pain in the ass. I got something accomplished, not much, but something. Okay, it's Monday. I didn't do anything Friday. Well, I did stuff, but not on the car. So I pulled the distributor out. Where I left off, again, this might seem like a minute to you, but it's been 3 days for me. It was hitting right here and I couldn't turn it. So I just pulled the distributor out and I'm readjusting the timing. I got to check to make sure I'm on top dead center and so on. Okay, I started the car up again. See if you can see the timing light this time. I don't know if you can see it through the camera. It's on 20. Unfortunately, I can't hold the camera. Let's see, I'll turn it that much. I can't hold the camera in the timing light. Anyway, I went through all that because I had never tightened up the distributor bolt. So now it's set at 10. Another thing I want to point out, if you've never used a timing light before, I don't really know that it matters, but right here on the lead that you put on number 1, it says spark plug. I don't know what happens if you flip it over, to be honest with you. I should have tried it. But it's freezing outside and I got my door closed. So anyway, timing set. Everything's done under here now. I want to go work on something else for a while and just, I need a break. Again, it's been 3 days, so I forgot everything. I can't remember what I did in the rest of this video. Got the tack working, the oil pressure working. I moved it from over there to here. Tighten down the distributor, recheck the timing. And again, if this is your first video, if you want to jump your car, this wire right here is coming from your key switch. So if you unplug that, turn your key, it won't start. If you plug it in, it will start. So this is where you would put to jump it. So what this is doing is opening a switch to allow the power to go through, if that makes sense. This is 12 volts, that's 12 volts. But what you're doing is you're jumping 12 volts to here, which is clicking the switch, which allows it to flow through. Oh yeah, and last week I left off, I was running rough. I think the main cause was this spark plug boot was loose. I don't know why it was. So always, first thing, check your plug wires. I don't know how it came loose. I don't know. Make sure they're pushed all the way down. Again, these wires are just temporary. Like all my wiring, I just want it to work. It works. That's all I care about right now. Someday I'll drop back and fix everything. The thing is, I got to buy some kind of connectors, and I don't want to use those cheap-ass connectors that you saw a while back I threw in the garbage. So everything works. I'm going to clean up, and then I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, one last thing. I don't know, 10, 20 videos ago, I modified this air cleaner because I put in this electronic distributor. And it's so wide that it hit the air cleaner. You can see where I chopped it. But that's how it looks. See how tight it is right here? Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, how could I modify this further so I wouldn't be that close to the distributor? But the other thing I can do is just cut this whole section out, which would mean I'd have to cut it out of here. So, I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking, I guess there's one other thing I could do. I could raise the base, put a thicker spacer under the carburetor. Anyway, I'm just going to start it, see if it starts. See if it jumps or anything weird. I kind of like these mufflers. They're cheap, and they sound as good as something you'd spend $500 on. So I know I'm probably repeating myself. It's not easy to make videos. But again, the reason I cut this air cleaner was so I could make this distributor work and make this air cleaner work. I guess another option is weld something on the bottom of that to raise it up. So in other words, it'd be like this. Yeah, so I have to raise that up. These tongs here fit right there. So if I wanted to keep it still locked in, I'd have to also raise those. Technically should work. I don't know about hood clearance, but I'm not going to do that. For now, I'm done for a while. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting back into body work. If you go back to my bodywork panels, I replaced this panel here. And replace that lower section. Well, you can see where the paint is. All that black paint. So now I got to make sure that this is straight, and I'm trying to wonder, I'm not sure how to do that because the car curves that way, and it also curves this way. I also fixed a piece in here that was rotted. Oh, the other thing I got to do, and I just don't want to do it. This windshield's shot. It's got bullet holes in it, or BB holes or something. But to change that windshield, I got to take this trim off. Once I take the trim off, I'm committed. Because then, you know, I'm going to paint this car. So then this trim should stay off. Again, every time you take something off, you got to store it somewhere. Anyway, so this will probably be last. But yeah, I'm going to have to take this off. You gotta take this off, this off, this off. I've never done it on this car before. I'm not sure what holds it on. Oh, look, there's some screws here. Well, that's easier. 2 screws here. The rest of it must snap in. So yeah, I'm just gonna clean up. Okay, I finally got time to work on this pinball machine again. Look at this plug. Is it supposed to have a ground? Well, I put the wheels back on. Also, while I'm here, I'm going to take these off. $19.73. $200. Steel ball in there. The guy that sold me this said they use ceramic balls now, but I don't want ceramic. And he said he 3D printed this piece here. You see that? This thing's not straight. Well, he printed that, but it's square. You see that? Look at this one. He screwed up. So I'm gonna have to get one of these too. I can't even play it. Okay, I figured out how to open it up. So I was wondering if it had 4 flippers. I think this is where the other flipper would be. I don't know what those holes are right there. But right. Let's see, how do the other flippers mount? I guess this is the other flipper mechanism. Oh, that's it right there. So it would have 3 holes. Let's see here. There's 2. You know, it looks like there's patterns where holes might go. Anyway, I'm looking at the cord. Yeah, I guess there is no ground. I guess because it's plywood. Cord tie-in right there. So that's a counter. Total work 15515. What does that mean? 15,515 games. This is a pretty cool old machine. Anyway, I gotta get first thing I do is get some locks. Try to find one of these. If not, I'm gonna have to So here's the pinball machine. Anybody that works on them, I don't know anything about them yet. I guess that's the on-off switch underneath. Anyway, that's all I see right now. I guess this thing here is this thing. I think I remember that 55 years ago. What is this thing? Tilt switch. Then what is that? That's kind of interesting. So there's 2 tilt switches. Here's that button I was thinking about. I'm looking at these, I don't know what they are, coils, G23750, G23750, G23750. Well, that's nice, they're marked. Somebody stuck dimes down in there. 1, 2, 3, 4 dimes. They can't be, right? No, that must be, for lack of term, plus and minus down there. I guess, plus and minus, and this must be the 24 volt coming out. So I took this switch off that was right here. It's off a car. I can see it, ignition, accessory, battery. So they probably drilled that hole bigger, but anyway, I gotta replace this for now. This, and that. And that spring might be shot. Again, I don't know, because I've never worked on one of these. Here's a close-up of those dimes. I gotta replace this plug. You know what's weird about this piece here? Even if I reverse it, flip it over or backwards or whatever, it still doesn't fit. What the heck? So when I went to look at it, one of these numbers was sticky. The good old 60s. B26, B26, A22, A22. Look at all these old contacts. Extra ball, high score. 60,000, 70,000, 80,000. See what they got on the back here. 1991. To remove back glass with backdoor pull back on brackets at inside top of light box. Pretty sure that's what they're talking about, these things right here. Yeah. Pretty interesting. I think this is the one that was sticking. This one's kind of stuck. It must be stuck in that area. Look at these wires, man. This is ancient. Look at this connection. What is it? A piece of solder? Anyway, I'm just going to put it back together, put this down. I don't like the way it's warped. Don't want the glass. You can't even see it, but it's right here. And try to find those parts. I'm not in any rush to play this, but there's certain things I want. I want keys to work, I want this to work, and I want a button. Somebody must sell this, right? So I'll take these up to the house. And by the way, this is my shop. Anybody interested? I'm working on a 64 Galaxie. I'm retired. So I rebuilt everything in here mechanical so far. Put a 302 in here. There was a 289. No leaks. There's a 1976 Trans Am Special Edition. You know, with the bird on it and gold rims. It's just where I hang out. Here's, check this out, an engine stand I built. Engine run stand. There's a 289 that came out of it. I put in a 302 old radiator. I did all the, there was rust on it. I fixed all the rust. And then I just fixed the rust, primed it, and stopped, and then went on to mechanical. It's got swing away steering. That means the steering wheel will slide that way. Here's the original seats. They had some covers on them. I just took them off and taped it up for now. Looking for bucket seats if anybody has them or knows about it. I want XL bucket seats, XL back seat.